Alright guys, welcome to the awards section of this video. Whew, what a journey, huh? There's been many hours of work, testing, time, editing has gone into this, so I'm so excited to finally get here. And I also thank all the people that have been long-time subscribers and have been asking about this video and encouraging me and also pointing out, you know, hey, there's these new panels, have you heard of them? I really do appreciate it, and to be honest, without you guys, I don't know if this would have happened, whether I would have been too lazy, whether I wouldn't have been motivated to do it, or whether I would have even done it because I didn't think there would have been enough interest. So I do want to thank you, and I do want to apologize that it has taken so long to get it out. I mean, we did have some big issues with supply chain and some companies with some new models that got delayed. Yeah, there have been lots of issues, but hey, we're here now. We're here right at the end. We're about to announce the winners. I've done all the testing, I've crunched the numbers, and we've got the overall standings. So I'm gonna reveal them to you very soon. But before we go into the overall standings, what I wanna do first is announce some special category winners, all right? These are panels that may not have achieved overall greatness, but in their own special way, it sounds very, you know, handing out achievement awards, right, for everyone. But they deserve attention or recognition, because that's the thing with this video, right? And my scoring system. You may not agree with the way I've scored this. I know some companies out there who have supplied panels here or, you know, manufacturing some of these panels. They're not gonna agree with it. They're gonna think their panel's the best no matter what, right? I've had to come up with a scoring system that I think is fair, and I really do think this scoring system I've used this year is quite good. I'm quite proud of it. Back in 2019, I knew there were a lot of flaws with the scoring system back then, but I was like, hey, it's the best I can come up with now. This year, I've actually been tweaking the scoring system for a long time, like trying to find something that was fair and included all aspects. And also introducing new things such as the hotspot testing, you know, things that may impact how well these panels are performing on our health. So I think what I've done is pretty good, and I think it's gonna show what is a good overall panel and hey, what may not be as good. Speaking of that though, real quick, I should mention that, look, all of these panels are gonna do what they're meant to do. They're all putting out a good amount of therapeutic red light therapy. If you own any of these panels and the panel comes in last or second to last, don't think that you've got a dud, because that's not the case. All I'm trying to do is find out which ones are the best, which ones have the best features, have the best warranty, put out good power, use multiple wavelengths, all those sort of things, right? But you may disagree with it. You may think that, no, the fourth place panel is the best for you. That's the other thing. Everyone has different priorities. Some people may really care about EMF levels, other people may not. It may mean a panel that got last place in EMF may be the perfect panel for you because it ticks boxes in other areas. That's why I've broken these videos down into different sections. It's why I publish all the data in my red light therapy data sheet and over at the blog. So you can go in and do your own number crunching and make your own decision. Okay, so before we do the overall rankings, let's touch on the special awards. First up, I have the highest peak irradiance. Now back in 2019, this is how I scored in my power round. I just looked for peak power radiance and that's how I ranked it. I've since improved that testing and now I use total watts. But I did want to mention which panel came out #1 for the highest power. And not only was it the highest power from these 12 panels, it's the highest power that I've ever seen in all my years testing panels. And I've got some big expensive panels in here, and even those panels haven't achieved the numbers that this panel that I'm about to mention. And that panel is the Platinum LED Biomax 600. This had a peak irradiance score of 92.9 milliwatts over centimeter squared, which was insane. If you're a numbers man and you just want the biggest and the most powerful panel out there, then hey, highly consider the Biomax 600. And the Biomax 600 actually came out in third place for the total watts output as well. It is a little bit smaller than some of the other panels, hence why the total watts was a little bit less. But from a purely peak power point of view, you can't go past the Biomax. My next special award goes to the panel that is the safest to use. And by safest, I mean no flicker, ultra low EMF, and very quiet. Now there's two winners here. One of them is the Infrared Max, the other one is the Red Reboot. Both of these scored 20 points when I added up the EMF and the sound flicker rounds. If you want to get picky and choose which one's better, it depends if you care more about EMF or more about the sound. The Red did have a very slightly better EMF number, so if you're purely worried about EMF, you may want to go with the Red. So congrats, both of those panels are exceptionally safe to use, though I should mention pretty much all of the panels are safe. It's just as you get closer to some, you are getting some higher EMF readings, and only 2 panels had flicker. So next up, I have the most advanced panel. Now this goes to light path LED. Why? Well, there's so many things you can do with this panel that you can't with other panels. The fact that you can customize the pulsing rate from 1 Hertz right through to 9,999 with either red or near infrared light is quite amazing. Only one other panel out of the 12 behind me offered pulsing, and that was the Juve, but it was fixed with 10 Hertz with near infrared light only. If you want to really geek out and play around with pulsing and different frequency rates with different wavelengths, then the light path LED is the panel for you. Even if you're not worried about frequency and no-GA pulsing and all that stuff, it's still an exceptionally good panel. But for those that are really into biohacking and advanced technology, then the light path LED is the one to check out. Next up, we have an award for the best customer care. Now, Red Light Rising 900 takes this out. Their panels come with a 5-year warranty, plus you get a free call with the founders of the team. 5 years is exceptional. Back in 2019, the best warranty you could get was 3 years. Most were around 1, maybe 2-year warranties. Now in 2021, 5 years is the best. That's a huge jump. And knowing that you're getting 5 years warranty is great when you're spending, $1,000 or $1,600 in the case of the Advantage 900. I should also give a shout out to LightPath LED. They have a 3-year warranty period and also do a free customer care call. There's 2 more special category winners before we announce the overall winner. Next up is the lowest EMF panel. This was the Rouge PRO 1500. They had no detectable EMF at 6 inches for electric or magnetic. When we got to 3 inches, there was still no detectable EMF for electric fields, though there was a very small amount of magnetic, but they were the best compared to all the other panels. I should mention though, if you're really worried about EMF, go back and check the EMF video because there's other panels out there that are also really good. It's just that the Rouge PRO 1500 was the best. Finally, we have the best red light therapy panel for the penny pincher, those that are on a really strict budget. Now, I could simply award this to the cheapest panel behind me, which would be the Red Rush 720, but I can't because for $50 more, you can get the Infrared Max. Now, the difference between the Infrared Max and the Red Rush 720 in terms of power and performance and functionality is quite a lot. Hence why I have to say the Infrared Max is the best panel for those on a tight budget. I should also give a shout out to the Biomax 600. That's only $50 more than the Infrared Max. Exceptional value and also some great performance, and in some areas it's better than Infrared Max. And if you're on a super tight budget and can't spend any more than say $850, definitely check them out. But one of the main reasons Infrared takes the cake here is because they offer free international shipping. The Biomax, you're only getting free shipping to the USA. Okay, here we are. The final scores have been crunched. I'm gonna rank all of these panels from last place, 12th place, right through to first. Now in 12th place on a score of 44.5, we have the Blue Blox Hive Max. In 11th place on a score of 50 points, we have the Red Rush 720 Classic. In 10th place, we have the Saito LED Triplex. This came in with a score of 51.5. Now in 9th place, we had the Gembared Reboot with a score of 54.5. In 8th place, with a score of 55 points, was the Rouge PRO. In 7th place, with a score of 59.5, was the Juve Solo 3.0. Now, like I said earlier, I thought the Juve Solo would finish around mid-pack because I think that's a true representation of where it sits compared to these other panels. With the 2 wins in the last 2 rounds, it really did bump them up though, because they were sitting pretty low going into those rounds. Now in 6th place, we have the Red Light Rising, the Advantage 900. This came in with a score of 62 points. It's a respectable position for a panel that is very, very expensive. Remember, this is the most expensive panel behind me. Even with discount code Alex, it came out to be $1,600. But the panel does have some good features and hence it comes in at 6th place. All right, we're down to the top 5. What I'm gonna do is get these 5 hanging behind me in no particular order. We'll come in close and we'll share the results. With a score of 67.5, in 5th place, we have the LightPath LED Large Multi-Wave Panel. Now, this panel, I always knew it was going to do well. When I reviewed it many months ago, though I had some frustrations and there were some quite strong downsides with this panel, I always knew it would do well. It's putting out really good power numbers. I think it got 2nd place in the total wattage power output round, so that's exceptional. Pretty good value as well. Top 3, top 4 finished there in the value round. So those 2 things alone make it quite attractive. And then of course you add in the no-GA frequencies that are built into the panel, the fact that you can customize the pulsing rate from anything from 1 to 10,000 hertz.
there's a lot going on with this panel, and at the same time, that could maybe be seen as a downside, especially when it comes to the controls. So, and in fact, just the basic features of the panel itself really let this panel down. It placed last in round 9 in the operation round, and that was just because it was so frustrating to use. That cost the LightPath LED big time. If it finished mid-pack there, or even a little bit higher, we probably would have seen a 4th. We could have even got it higher up in the rankings. But a 5th place out of 12 panels is a very respectable finish, and I know there's a lot of passionate LightPath LED customers who have been commenting on my series, so they'll be happy with this top 5 place. LightPath LED, I think if they go away and fix some of these minor issues that I discovered, then I wouldn't be surprised if we see even a stronger finish in the years to come.
Now in 4th place with a score of 72.5, a good 5 points ahead of 5th place, but well behind the top 3. Still a respectable score though, was the Solbasium Optics 180. This panel right here. Now, I do have to say, if you've seen my review of this panel, I was probably a little bit too critical now in hindsight with this panel. The thing is with this panel is it's good overall, right? Like, it just does everything good, but it's not great, it's not amazing. It doesn't have the standout features and functionality that some of these other panels have. The thing is with this panel though, is it's just done well across the board. If we look at the scores here, we're seeing 7s, 5s, 9s, a 10, a 2, a 5 and 8. I mean, it's average, I guess, but it's not, because it's placed 4th overall out of 12 panels. And some of these panels are very, very good panels. So that makes the Solbasium a great panel. And like I said, I guess I was a bit critical in my review. So congratulations, Solbasium. You guys have placed 4th out of 12. It's the first time you've entered in this competition. I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys come up with in the coming years. And these guys are an Aussie-based company, so for those of you in Australia, definitely check this out. They do ship internationally though, so congratulations. And now we're down to 3. And then there were 3. Now in 3rd place with a score of 85 points, only 2.5 points behind 2nd place, was the Infrared Max 2021, this panel right here. Now I do have to be completely honest, I nearly forgot about the Infrared. I've had this panel for a while now, but I hadn't got around to testing it. I hadn't done my full review like I had with a lot of the other panels. And in fact, it wasn't until I was setting up this competition that I realized, oh gosh, this is the Infrared Max panel, whoops. So I spent a bit of time with it, tested it over a few days, getting everything set up for this series, and I was impressed. But it wasn't until I actually started testing it and then scoring it that I realized, you know what, this is a really, really good panel. And I can see why a lot of people rave about Infrared and have been asking me to review it and to see how it compares. So I do apologize, Infrared, and I apologize for all the people that have been asking about this. I wish I'd looked into it sooner, because it's placed 3rd out of 12 in my 2021 body panel comparison series. When we look back at the scores, we see that the Infrared Max was always up there, 11, 9, 11, 8, 12, 8. Sure, there was the odd bad performance. It only got 3 points in the LED section, but then it came out number 1 for flicker and sound. So it's a good panel. I mean, it placed 3rd, right? How can it not be good? So I do need to say, again, congratulations. For those of you who have an Infrared, you'll now know that yes, it is a good panel. For those of you who have been looking at Infrared, hey, definitely consider it. But remember, we still have 2 more places to go. Okay, we're down to 2. So we have the Mito Red Mito Pro 1500 and the Platinum LED Biomax 600. Now what's crazy is these 2 companies had the top 2 panels back in 2019 when I compared them. And in fact, these 2 panels are what I get asked about the most. Which one should I buy, the Mito Pro or the Biomax? And it's like, oh my God, I don't know. Because they're so good. They're both really, really good panels. They're good companies. They've been around for a long time now. Platinum LED has been around longer than Mito Red, but you know, it's not like they're a new company on the scene in the last year or so. I personally have been using the Biomax panels for a long time, and it's what I recommend to my clients and my family and that. Part of that is because they came out top in 2019 as a top panel, and the other reason is they use multi-wave technology. They got the 5 wavelengths. Mito Red only used to have the 2, 660 and 850. With the new Mito Pro range that came out in 2021 though, they also use multi-wave technology. In fact, they got 4 wavelengths and they've got more power going to some of those alternative wavelengths compared to the Biomax. They're very, very similar though. When you look at their website, pricing wise, spec wise, very, very similar. It's always been really hard to say which one is better. And I know a lot of you have been hanging out to see, hey, which one should I go with? And as we saw during the scoring rounds, they were like neck and neck, pretty much right through. So it's not like one is 20 times better than the other or anything like that. It's like comparing a top of the range BMW or top of the range Mercedes-Benz. You're getting a good car with either outcome. But the numbers don't lie, and I do have to announce a winner. The overall winner for my 2021 Red Light Therapy Body Panel Series is, drum roll please, the Mito Red Mito Pro 1500. Boom. The Mito Pro came out with a score of 92.5. Now the Platinum LED Biomax came out with a score of 87.5. So there was a bit of a difference there in the end, and that was all due to that hotspot round. So congratulations Mito Red, you've done exceptionally well. You placed second in 2019. You've went back to the drawing board, come up with an entirely new product range, the Mito Pro, and here we are as the top panel in my 2021 comparison. Platinum LED, very hard luck. I mean, yeah, what can I say? You've come up with some amazing technology with the control panel, touchscreen control panel. The power in this panel is insane, the highest peak power I've ever tested. But it just fell short in one little area, I guess, and that was with the hotspot testing. But it didn't quite have enough to take out #1 over the Mito Red this year. So what can I say? Like, I'm almost speechless because it was so close. And even saying that, oh, the Mito Red came out on top, it's almost like, how can you say that? They're so close, right? So congratulations to them both. But like I said, the points don't lie. The Mito Pro 1500, #1 panel for the 2021 Red Light Therapy Body Panel Series. So, hey, what do you think? I hope that you've enjoyed all of this, and if you do want to run out and get this panel, or of course the Platinum LED panel, or any of the other panels, I'll put links to them below. Discount code Alex is going to save you, well, it depends on the panel. It could save you 25 bucks, it could save you 15%, depending on which one you're getting. But this panel here, the Mito Pro 1500, you can get it for a bit over $1,000. That's after using discount code Alex. Multi-wave technology, 4 wavelengths, ultra low EMF, great sound, great flicker, great warranty, great customer care, great ease of use, great operations. I mean, it ticks all the boxes. When you look at the rankings, we can see that the Mito Pro got top of the table in 3 rounds and second place in 1 or 2 rounds. It was always up there, right? The lowest score it had was a 4, and that was in round 1. And that's just simply because of the price. It is a large panel. This does have 300 LEDs. If you look down a little bit here, you can see how it is a much larger panel compared to the Biomax. The Biomax only has 200 LEDs. Now some of you may be thinking, hey, what about the Biomax 900? That has 300 LEDs. How would that compare? And that's a great question. The key thing to remember though is the Biomax 900 doesn't add the extra LEDs from a vertical point of view, it actually gets wider. The Mito Red has a little bit more width and it's longer. I think actually it's a really good size. The thing is with the 900 though, if you get 2 of them, you stack them on top and you get a really tall, high panel. Now, I will get around to doing a direct head-to-head between the Biomax 900 and the Mito Pro 1500, but like I've said earlier in these rounds, the power isn't quite the same in the Biomax 900 as it is in the 600. And the 600 is also a lot cheaper. So, if you want, based on my scoring system, if you want the best red light therapy panel for 2021 and even into 2022, then the Mito Red Mito Pro 1500 is the panel to get. So that is not only the end of this video, it is also the end of this entire series. So I thank you for coming along on the journey. All the comments, the likes, the support, the encouragement. I hope you've enjoyed it as much as I have. And I also want to thank all the red light therapy companies out there. You're doing great things. I know it's a hotly contested market, but at the end of the day, you're making panels that are helping people with their health and recovery, which is awesome. Before we go, if you did enjoy this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please leave your comments and feedback and questions. I read them all and I respond to them all, though it does take me a little bit of time because I get a lot. And if you did want to buy any of these panels, be sure to use discount code ALEX, ALEX. It will save you a little bit of cash and it will help me continue to fund projects such as this. Finally, if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe because I will be doing some follow-up videos based on this. If you've got any questions, I'm going to do a Q&A video as well to answer any of them. And I'm going to be doing more reviews and more testing as more panels come out. In fact, I've still got a bunch of panels inside that I haven't even tested. Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. And in maybe 2 years' time, I'll do another one of these. I think every 2 years is a good time to get new panels on the market, test them, sit down and do a big comparison series. So I thank you again and I hope you've enjoyed it. All right guys, bye-bye.